A 74-year-old woman entered her neighborhood bank last spring to take out her own money and was refused, not because the funds were missing, but because of a regulation quietly approved by 7 federal agencies in 2024, a rule that almost no one over the age of 60 even realizes exists. In just a few minutes, I'm going to explain exactly what happened to her and why it could happen to you. But first, there's something important you need to understand, because without this context, the ending of this story won't fully make sense. I'm Nancy, and this is Senior USA. Last month, I published a video about the $10,000 banking rule. Over 200,000 of you watched it. Since then, I've noticed a surge of other channels sharing their own versions of the same topic. Some got it right, others dangerously inaccurate. In fact, I recently saw one video claiming a retired couple received a letter from their bank, a letter that federal law actually makes illegal to send. I'll come back to that shortly. But first, here's what you absolutely need to understand. The $10,000 threshold hasn't changed since 1970. Back then, $10,000 was more than many Americans earned in an entire year. It could buy you 2 brand new Cadillacs. Gas cost just 36 cents per gallon. A house averaged around $23,000. That was the environment this rule was designed for. Drug traffickers carrying suitcases of cash, not a retired school teacher selling her late husband's pickup truck. And yet, that number has never been updated, not once. Last year, the Government Accountability Office reported that if this threshold had kept up with inflation, just like Social Security, it would be closer to $73,000 today. But it's still $10,000, which means in 1970, the rule targeted criminals. In 2026, it can flag your grandmother paying a contractor. I'm not saying that to alarm you. I'm saying it because everything else in this video depends on you seeing that clearly. The rule stayed the same, but the world changed. And that gap is exactly why things are getting more complicated for retirees at the bank counter. Let's do a quick refresher. The $10,000 rule means any cash transaction above that amount triggers a report called a currency transaction report. The bank files it automatically. It goes to FinCEN, part of the Treasury, not the IRS. On its own, this report means nothing. The real issue is structuring, splitting transactions to stay under the limit. That's a federal offense, even if your money is completely legitimate. If you missed my first video, watch it after this one. Now, today I'm covering 3 major changes that have quietly happened since then. And after that, I'll correct 3 dangerous myths spreading online right now, because believing even one of them could cost you. Let's get into it. Change number 1, your bank can now delay your own withdrawal. In December 2024, 7 federal agencies issued new guidance encouraging banks to place holds on transactions if they suspect financial exploitation of older adults. Depending on your state, that hold can last anywhere from 15 to 45 days. Now here's the reason. More than $27 billion in suspicious activity tied to elder financial exploitation moved through banks in just 1 year. These holds are meant to protect seniors from scams. That's the positive side. Now let me show you the reality. Let's call her Margaret. She represents real cases I've seen. Last spring, a storm damaged her roof. A contractor knocked on her door, quoted $18,000 cash, and offered to fix it. Margaret had the money saved. She went to the bank to withdraw it. Instead, she was brought into an office and questioned. Then she was told her withdrawal would be held for 15 days. She was furious, and understandably so. "This is my money," she said. "I need it now." She was right, but here's the twist. A year earlier, she had added a trusted contact, her son, to her account. During the hold, the bank called him. Within 20 minutes, it became clear the contractor had no license, kept changing prices, and insisted on cash because the IRS was after him. It was a scam. Margaret kept her $18,000. Now imagine the other version. The contractor is legitimate, but there's no trusted contact. Her money is still held. That's happening every day. The difference? 1 form, 1 name, 1 phone number. Remember that. Change number 2, the $600 payment rumor. Many of you told me you stopped sending money through apps because you heard the IRS tracks anything over $600. That is not true. That rule never went into effect. In fact, legislation passed in 2025 reversed it entirely. Platforms like Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App only report if you receive over $20,000 and complete more than 200 business transactions in a year. Personal payments are not reported. So sending birthday money, helping family, that's not being tracked as income. Please don't cut off support because of misinformation. Change number 3, smarter bank software. This one is costing people real money. Let me tell you about Terry DeCo, a grocery store owner in his 70s. In 2013, the IRS seized $35,000 from his account, not because he broke the law, but because his deposit pattern looked suspicious. He was staying under $10,000 for insurance reasons. The system flagged him anyway. It took 2 years to get his money back. A federal audit later found that in over 90% of similar cases, the money was legally earned. Now in 2026, that software is far more advanced. It detects smaller patterns, connects activity across branches, and flags behavior below $10,000, which means the old advice, just stay under the limit, can now get you flagged. Now let's clear up 3 myths. Myth 1, the limit dropped to $7,000. False. It's still $10,000. Myth 2, your bank will notify you if a suspicious report is filed. Completely false and illegal under federal law. Myth 3, seniors are being targeted more heavily. Also false. These rules are meant to protect, not monitor. Now, here's the most important step you can take. Go to your bank this week. Ask for a trusted contact designation form. It's free. It takes 5 minutes. That person cannot access your money, but they can answer the phone if your bank calls. And that call can turn a 15-day hold into a 20-minute solution. Here's the 4-step plan. State your purpose. Avoid splitting deposits. File documents immediately. Elect a trusted contact. One final thought. In October 2025, a bill called the Streamline Act was introduced. If passed, it would raise the threshold to $30,000 and adjust it for inflation every 5 years. We'll see what happens, but at least the conversation has started. You spent your life earning this money. You shouldn't feel nervous walking into your own bank. You just need the information most people aren't being told, and now you have it. Before you go, leave a comment. Tell me your state and what transaction concerns you most right now. I read every comment myself, and your stories shape the next videos. If your situation is complicated, share it. Someone else is probably facing the same issue. My next video will break down the exact source of funds letter banks send, line by line in plain English. If you know someone over 60 handling large amounts of money, share this with them. That trusted contact form might be the most important 5 minutes they spend all year. I'm Kendra. This is Senior USA. I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe for more valuable updates.